Hey guys, X2 here, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the 2 or 3 6 days in Fallujah videos that I uploaded right now at the time of this recording. I still haven't made the second video live yet, but I do plan on making another video of just the game's atmosphere and stuff. I wanted to wait a while for my first impressions on the game. It's now been 3 days since the game's been out. It came out on the 22nd. It's now the 25th at the time of this recording, so this video will probably go up maybe the 27th or something. I'm not entirely sure. But before we get on to my first impressions on 6 Days in Fallujah, the past couple days since launch, the devs have been on top of things and they already put out 2 patches. Now, they put out the first patch, which was the day 1 patch. Now, I mentioned it in the first video that I uploaded where me and my buddy were playing technically we were playing a different build because while we were playing, they updated the game. And then on the 23rd, they updated the game again and added a small patch, which was 0.12. Now they went ahead and stated, with 2 days of early access under the way, we wanted to push out another update to address more bugs in community requests. Thank you again to the community for helping identify some of these issues. Patch 0.1.2 is now available on Steam. Please restart the client. Again, this won't matter until this video goes live. I'm also probably going to interject a lot of things because by the time this video goes live, they'll probably update the game at least a couple more times. So I do apologize for this long video. I just wanted to get this video out there. As for the patch notes, so the gameplay section of 0.12 is an option to tap instead of holding for reload, which is amazing. So now I'm going to change that to tap to reload and hold the check mags. They also, the ammo check HUD display is more quickly. They also increased mission times for the Sniper Russian apartment and compound. They also decreased mortar accuracy, but they want to specify, don't be an idiot and just stand in the street, take cover. And then scope magnification now is consistent between the M16 fire modes. Along with bugs, all of the achievements now will actually track correctly and you'll actually get achievements. I know some of the achievements, like I completely 100% did, and they just didn't count, so now they should count now. That would be the fire achievement is now awarded correctly. The basic training achievement is now renamed to first promotion, which that should now work now. AI are more decisive when maneuvering long distances. That's something that I was going to touch later on. Pathfinding fixes for some environment combinations, and then fixes for 2 most frequent crashes. Now, I want to say something for the devs. If you happen to watch this video, the community doesn't care how long and detailed and annoying the patch notes are. Tell us what those fixes were and what was causing that, so we know. Oh, I have this problem now. It's fixed. So instead of just saying fixes for 2 most frequent crashes, and then the day 1 patch notes, you just say 9 other crashes and compatibility bug fixes. Like, tell us what those bugs were and that you fixed them specifically. Get the gunplay. Now, the gunplay it's good, it's there, but I think it could be better. I think it could be more realistic. I think it could be more satisfying, because right now it just feels like I'm shooting sponges and my gun doesn't pack enough punch, and I do feel like the M16 has too much recoil. I'm saying that from someone who shot 5.56 pretty extensively, and 5.56 doesn't kick that hard at all. It kicks like a 22. I know a lot of people are like, whoa, no, it's not. But if you've shot 5.56 from whether a long-barreled M16, a short-barreled M4, a Mark 18, granted I've never shot a Mark 18, I would love to, but, you know, the ATF won't allow that. Now, again, I've never shot it in 2-round burst, and I've never shot it in full auto, so that's different. But in terms of tap firing relatively fast and fast enough, you can still control an M16 or an M4 while tap firing. So I think the devs could improve the gunplay, make it more satisfying, make it more realistic, just make it more fun. For an example, Insurgency Sandstorm's gunplay is like perfect in my opinion for milsim shooters. Excuse me. We have games like Ready or Not. I know a lot of people are comparing this game to Ready or Not, which I think is unfair, but I'm going to be hypocritical and do the same thing later. I'm going to compare it to that game. later. Um, Along with gunplay, my second thing goes along with gunplay, which is animations. The animations, specifically first-person animations and third-person animations for reloading guns, transitioning, checking mags, third per- third-person animations of your buddies, and then the enemy as well. I think those can be drastically improved, especially the animations. To me, the animations for first person, they feel very janky. They feel very arcadey. They don't feel realistic or satisfying, in my opinion, if that makes sense. Again, like I said previously, Ready or Not's animation team is like amazing. And again, I don't want to compare the two games because they're drastically different. The only similarities they have is the room clearing sections of the games. Um, but yeah, Ready or Not's animations are just amazing, first person and third person. So I'm kind of hoping the devs of 6 Days of Fallujah will update their animations for everything, specifically for guns, because to me they just look janky and arcadey, and I know it's not really constructive. It's just kind of me complaining about it, and I don't really have any helpful information so for them to change it. Um, but yeah, that's just something that that part is just my nitpick along with the gunplay, because I'm a huge snob when it comes to firearms and video games and movies specifically, because I'm a firearm enthusiast. I own a lot of firearms, and yeah, I'm just a snob when it comes to it. And when I see a game that doesn't really have good or satisfying gunplay along with good and satisfying animations for those guns, I'm just like, this takes me out of the immersion of the game. Next up, the gun audio could be improved, in my opinion. Again, this goes along with like the top three things. Um, the guns just don't sound punchy. They don't sound realistic. They don't sound good, in my opinion. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I've shot AKs before. I've going back to the M4 M16 thing. I've shot those before too, and I know it's hard to make good gun sounds unless you go out to the range and you have like really good microphones and you can record those guns shooting in multiple types of environments, like a forest, like an open desert, inside buildings, that type of stuff. I know it's hard to do that, especially if you're an indie team. You might not have that capability to do that. I drastically apologize for that first bit of the video. I did not, for some reason, my dumbass didn't realize that my microphone wasn't pulled in front of my face, so you guys more than likely didn't hear shit. But I'm going to keep it rolling because I don't want to redo this video. I've had to do it like 3 times already because my scripting was all over the place. Next up, we have some falling through objects and floors. Now, this is specifically noticeable on the apartment mission. I've noticed that I have fallen through the balconies on the apartment building, fall through, and then I'll more than likely like lose a lot of health or I'll just incapacitate. Alongside this, when you're on the balcony floors, when you're trying to revive or resuscitate your teammate when they're down, you'll glitch out and either the teammate that you're trying to revive will fall through the floor or you'll fall through the floor. There's also a lot of teleport issues on that map specifically too. When you're on the ground floor clearing out the bottom-most apartments, or like I call them garages because they have like big garage doors. When you're vaulting through those half walls, you'll teleport. You'll also just teleport vaulting in to begin with. So I'm hoping in the next couple patch notes and patch updates, they'll fix all this type of stuff. Alongside vaulting, I really, really hate the fact that you have to wait for the prompt to pop up before you can even think about vaulting. I just think they should get rid of that entirely. And the second I'm near a wall and I press F, I don't need to look at the wall. I can just look straight, run to it, press F, I vault over it. That's it. So I'm hoping the falling through objects when reviving teammates or healing yourself, seeing objects is very wonky right now because you'll vault an object and you'll teleport forward or you'll teleport back or you just won't vault at all. Alongside that as well, just get rid of the F prompt on everything and just let me allow it to just look at it or run up to a wall, press F, I'm over it, I'm done. Obviously for doors, you'll have to have the prompt there and for it to work and stuff. Along with that, breaching doors is a little bit wonky too. It feels weird to me to go up to a door. I'm just standing in front of the door because I have to hold shift and then I have to hit F twice before my character decides whether he wants to kick the door down or just open it. That's a little wonky. I don't know if anyone has had the same problem, but I'm sure you've walked up to a door and you shift double tapped F. You wanted to kick the door, but your character opens it, and then you're just standing there opening a door very slowly, and then you'll probably more than likely die. I wish they'd give us an option as well to put C4 on every type of door, because right now it seems like you have an unlimited supply of breaching charges. So if it's an option, just allow us to C4 breach every door in the game, because it's just easier. I know that the shotgun in the game will automatically open the door, but it doesn't swing it open. You just blow the door handle off, and it just opens a little bit, and then you still have to hit it with your body to open it, and by that time you're probably shot. Along with that, the sniper mission, the apartment mission, I hate it. It's not a good mission because you literally have so many things to worry about. You have the sniper, who's he's pretty for the most part accurate. And then you have IEDs that you have to worry about. And then you have the time limit that you have to worry about. I know we just touched on them improving the time limit. But I haven't played it yet with the new time limit, but it's still ridiculous in my opinion. And then if you decide to just run straight to the objective building and forget about the other buildings that you have to clear first, then you got to worry about those guys completely flanking you. And it's really difficult on 2 players, maybe only adding maybe 2 IEDs in total. And right now I think there's 5. So yeah, along with that, now that I just spoke about time limit, I'm really hoping they give us an ability to have custom time settings for specific missions. So when you load into the mission, while the cinematic is going, allow the squad leader or the fire team leader to set a custom time that we have to beat that mission. If not immediately, if we beat the mission, then allow us to do it. Along with that, I would like for them to give us a mission select screen. So when you click fire team missions, you invite your friends to your fire team. You can select what mission you've completed that you wanted to do. So if you've completed, let's say, Compound, Convoy, and the RPG cache, you can choose from those 3. But because you haven't completed Apartment, you can't choose to do that. Also, slightly covered, reviving teammates could be approved as well, because again, sometimes it's glitched. Sometimes it just doesn't want to work. I noticed if your teammate is too close to a door or a wall or in a confined space, you have to tell them get up and get into a more open spot for you to actually revive them. Bandaging could be approved too. Sometimes it's glitched as well to where you have to sit still, your character has to check himself, and then he stands back up, and then you gotta wait a second for you to bandage yourself, then you gotta bandage yourself again. I think at all times you need to crouch while bandaging, because there's sometimes where I'll get shot, I'll move in behind cover, and I'll crouch, and then my character will stand back up to bandage or improve. 2 of the things that we have to worry about in the game. Again, there's technically 4. You got the sniper, you got the IEDs, you got the time, and then if you choose to ignore all the rest of the buildings and don't clear them, then you have that problem. So changing and improving that mission would be a lot better. And I know there's certain strategies that are foolproof that you can do them without having to worry about those, like throwing smoke constantly. You can't suppress the guy in the mosque because that's the whole point of the mission. Your ROE isn't allowing you to suppress them. Range controls. Now, the specific controls that I'm talking about is T and Y are your change fire select and your switch weapon. That's just fucking weird to me. I'm sorry, developers of the game, but I don't know why you thought of those controls. That's so strange to me that Y is your fire select and T is your switch weapons. Now, I already rebounded those. I like that open mic is in the game, but I know a few of my friends, 2 of them that I told weren't going to like the game, but they just decided to buy the game and try it out anyways, after I told them they're not going to like it. But they didn't like open mic. They're the type of people who don't like using in-game comms. They only want to use Discord. For me, I'm not going to really touch on it because it doesn't bother me. I think the game thrives in using in-game comms. But I know some people would rather have a push-to-talk for open comm, so that's a control scheme for another thing. Hip fire and suppression. Now, alongside my favorite genre of game being milsims, and milsims love to overdo suppression, and the only thing that I would change about the suppression in this game is what happens when you get into a gunfight. Specifically with the AI that are deadly accurate with PKMs that just swing a corner and hip fire accurate, like shoot you. And while you're in that exchange of gunfire, your character, for some reason, while you're shooting them, will just put his gun down, and I get, like, that's trying to simulate your character trying to get into cover and, like, flinching because he's getting fucking shot at. I get that, but at the same time, it's really fucking frustrating because just one guy could destroy you because your character will just freak out and put his gun down, and then now you're shooting the ground and you have to swing your cursor all the way up to the sky just to try and hit the dude because your character's gun is pointed to the ground. And again, I hate saying remove stuff from a game, but that is something I think they should just remove. I think if you're ADSing, whether it be start sighted or aim down sight, while you're in a gunfight and you want to simulate that your character just literally shit himself because a bullet cracked over his head or near his face or near his body, just un-ADS us and put the gun at the hip but still pointed straight, not at the ground. Just do that for a second because you're still accurate. You're still shooting. So yeah. Alongside with that, again, I said the hip fire. I think the hip fire is just dumb. I just think just keep it at the hip pointed straight, not at the ground. That's really, really annoying to me. I did have some performance issues going along. To be fair, on my point, I am using a 12-year-old fucking computer. I got this computer from my cousin, and for an example, he's got DDR2 12 gig RAM. That's the only thing good in this computer is the 1066 gig. That's the only thing good, and the 2 SSDs, which I want more SSDs because more SSDs is just better, and I need more space because I record a lot of videos. I somehow skipped over performance, but yeah, I am doing it to myself, don't get me wrong, but I have the game, everything on ultra, and then I have upscaling to quality as well, and I usually get around 34 to 40 frames. When I have the game at high, medium graphics settings, I'm running the game a little bit better at like 35 to sometimes I'll peak to like 55 frames. I do think the AI could use an improvement. There are some instances where like the AI aren't dumb at all and the conflict and gunfights feel amazing, and then other times they're just dumb as fuck and they kind of just stand there, and then you're like, well, I can just one tap you now. Along with that, the AI improvement, if I could match it to a game, it feels like Tarkov's AI. Battle state for Tarkov, and I don't mean to get in this mini rant, but they can never seem to get the AI or the scavs in that game like good at all. They either make them really fucking stupid, where they just stand there and don't do anything, or they make them like absolute fucking Skynet gods, and they just one tap you, aim bot you across the map, through walls, through bushes, what have you. So I know there's that fine line where the AI needs to be dumb at sometimes and not broken as fuck, and then like what you would expect an AI soldier to be, to actually give you that challenge. Now, some people are talking about the price point compared to the content in the game. The game is in early access for $40, and I've seen a lot of people, including some of my favorite YouTubers like Operator Drewski, state that there needs to be $40 worth of content if you're going to make the game $40. Right now, there's only 4 Fireteam missions in the game: Apartment, Compound, Convoy, and the RPG Cache. I don't know what it's actually specifically called, but there's only 4 missions in the game, and I've beaten 2 out of the 4. Compound and Apartment I haven't beaten yet, which I'm sure me and my buddy will probably get it beat here in the near future. But I'm hoping to see more Fireteam missions come out soon. Even if they give us like just a straight up horde mode to tie us over. So they give us one objective, go capture this objective, and then for the rest of the match, you defend it from constant enemy swarms. Like, I'm sure that's not that hard to give us an extra Fireteam mission soon. Well, yeah, I'm not going to touch too much on that because I don't want to get into that. I don't want to open that can of worms in the comment section. But Yeah, it does seem like the game is lacking a little bit in content for the price point it is. If the game was maybe like $25, maybe 30, I would kind of slightly understand a little bit more, but for $40, a lot of people are going to see, oh, there's only 4 fire team missions. Sure, I can grind those specific missions every time for a bit because the procedural generation is there, but yeah, I see that. I see the point of some people saying there's not enough content for the price of the game. I have seen some people stating this as well, but there's, and I don't know how to word this, so I'm just going to say there's not enough blood or gore in the game. Now again, I know how bad that sounds coming out of my mouth, but blood and gore is another thing that adds immersion to FPS and milsim shooters specifically. Again, like I said for the 5th time, I don't like comparing these games, but I think Insurgency Sandstorm and Ready or Not have the best blood and gore effects for a milsim shooter, specifically Ready or Not. For an example, and this has happened to me before, where I have turned a corner and I see an enemy with a gun pointing at me, and I shoot him in the neck. He falls to the ground. He's got blood spewing out of his neck. He's got blood coming out of his mouth. You can hear him choking on the blood, and you can hear him trying to scream, and just the blood pools on the ground next to him. You can see the impact in his throat. He's got blood coming out of his mouth, and you can hear that, and it adds to that visual experience. And that was something when I first played Ready or Not, and when that first happened, I'm like, Jesus Christ, holy crap. I can hear this guy choking on his blood. And it's adding to that immersion to the game. And it just pushes you more into the fantasy that this game is trying to portray. Well, more or less with this game, because this game is, trying to simulate real life here. What happened in real life. So I think adding more blood and gore effects to the game will help us see what the Marines went through back then. And I know a lot of people are going to say, why the fuck do you want that? You're weird for wanting that. You're fucking disgusting. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it helps me be more immersed into the game. And it makes it more cinematic and feels better, in my opinion. But I know a lot of people are going to get on me for that one. And then lastly, again, for my likes here, we're close to the end here. But the atmosphere of the game is perfect. It's like 100% perfect for me. The sound design is amazing, but again, it could be improved with that gunplay and stuff. The reverb and the echo when you're open chat in clearing rooms with your team is just perfect. I love that when they're a certain distance away and multiple rooms through multiple walls, they're very muffled and they're very quiet. So then you got to go on your radio and go, sorry, what did you say? Okay, so I'm going to end the video short here. I don't want to make an impressions video that's 30 to 35 to 40 minutes long. But overall, I love the game. The atmosphere is great. The feeling of the game is great. The anxiety that it gives you, that claustrophobia that it gives you. The clearing rooms is super, super satisfying. And it's because of that reverb and echo of the open mic, firing the guns indoors. I know I just complained about them not being that good. The dust when you're shooting for prolonged periods of time, throwing grenades indoors is a mistake. Don't ever do that. Shooting GLs into rooms, if at the correct distance for them to explode, it kicks up so much dust and you can't see, so you have to decide whether should we just go in there, bum rush, and more than likely probably get shot because you can't see anything, or do we sit here and wait for the dust to settle? They finally added a report to the mortars. I don't know why they didn't add that to the patch notes, but they finally added a report. If you're confused what I mean by that, basically what I'm saying is you can actually hear the mortars shoot. And then you can hear the mortar round come in, it impacts the ground, so. It'd be kind of a nice addition if they added craters. So when the mortars hit the ground, it creates like a certain depth in the ground of where it impacts. So there's a crater. I'm sure they'll add that. If not a really big deal. But yeah, other than that, the game is very satisfying to play. And I played a couple more hours of it earlier to get more footage for this video and to film a couple other videos. The content is lacking there. I'm agreeing more and more to what people are saying, that $40 for this game is really steep considering the content we have, and I understand it's early access. But but the more and more I play it is like, how much am I going to be able to play this game before I'm like, okay, now it's not giving me that anxiety feeling. Now it's just kind of feeling like a generic room clearing simulator. But yeah, so I'm gonna end the video here, as I don't want to continue this too long, because I know once it hits 20 minutes, people are like, I'm not watching that. And I don't really want to touch on what I said earlier about comparing this game to Ready or Not. I know I said I was going to, but to keep this video short, I'm not going to. So leave down in the comments down below if anything I missed, bugs that you've experienced with the game, problems you have with the game, as long as it's, you know, actually a realistic problem and not, oh, I want more guns in the game, oh, I want more customization to the game, and all this stuff. It's not going to happen, because it's not what they used back in 2004. So the people that are complaining about the weapons, the player customization, attachments, more weapons in the game, stop complaining about that. It's not going to happen unless they add like a subsidiary type of mode to this game, or a spin-off of this game. Other than that, you're not going to see it, because they're trying to simulate 2004 Second Battle of Fallujah. So without further ado, like, comment, subscribe, ding dong notification bell so you guys know when I upload next, especially on some more Fallujah content of the game. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.